Welcome back to Meticulous Mechanic. I did get the exhaust reinstalled. You didn't need to remove the exhaust for this valve job, but I just took it off so I could film the radiator stuff better, and there's a video on how to do it. Luckily, I remembered to refill the engine with oil before I started up. Today I'm going to be sinking the throttle body, so I'm going to have to reattach the ECU here. I've had the battery disconnected, so I'm going to reattach that. And I'm going to have to get the fuel line reconnected and the fuel line electrical connector. So I'm just going to reattach the ECU not in the air box. It's going to slide in like that. So there's two little plastic hooks that go into the connector. There's another video where I show you need to pry up on this tab to get this off like that. There's a lot of pins in here, so I'm going to make sure I push the connector on straight. I'm going to push it evenly with my fingers on each side while I go in. I heard it go click, so that's good. So I'm just going to lay a little towel here and let it sit there like that. I've had the tank sitting over here on these blocks. So if the tank were attached, these wires would be sitting in here. Here's the electrical connector and the fuel hose. So you just spin the tank clockwise. So those kind of spin like this. And then you would set the tank down. So I'm going to go ahead and then reinstall the negative lead on the battery. I had this little piece of foam here so it couldn't fall down and accidentally make contact. So I'll clip the foam piece off first. Then I had zip tied these together just so I know where they go. Take off the one screw. I zip tied them in the order they go just so I don't have to think when I go to put it back on. So I'm just going to cut this zip tie. So I had a washer, and then I have some heated gear. There's a lead that goes to that, and then the main battery terminal goes on first, and then this. All right, we have power now. I'm just going to tighten it with a 10 millimeter. I couldn't get enough with that Phillips head. The way I remember this, you always take the negative terminal off first, and the way I remember that is I tell myself it'll go negative for you if you don't take the negative off first. If you go back to my tank removal video, there's a little section on how you slide that on to lock it and pull it back up to unlock it. So it's got to be up when we slide it on like that. So when you slide it on, you want to make sure you hear a click. There, I've got just enough hose. And then once it's on, you push this up. So that's on good. So the only problem is now the electrical connector doesn't reach. I'm going to have to slide the tank down a little bit. So I'll just loosen that strap and slide it down a little bit and connect this. So now just the electrical connector. They don't give you much slack there. You know, you can actually undo a little clip here. I think I'll do that. So I couldn't really get enough slack here very easily, but I noticed there's this clip here I can undo. And that will give me a lot more. Take that off. That'll give me this much more. That's all we need. So now I should have enough slack. Click that on straight. Okay, good. Now I'm just making sure when I set it down, it's not smushing anything. So the trick on this tank is just take an old rug and lay it there. And there's these sharp things here. That'll protect that. And then over there. And then I just took this piece of wood here, thin piece of wood, and it's resting on there, and it's keeping it off my fuel connector and my electrical connector. See how those aren't hitting anything and they're not bent funny? So we're at the moment of truth here. Hopefully the golden pin has led us down the proper path. I'm going to open the garage door and roll this out and fire it up. Miserable rainy day in the Pacific Northwest. So I've got to go through the final check. Got the exhaust, I got the oil filled up, I got the ECU connected, fuel tank connected. Hopefully all the valves were put in correctly and adjusted, all this. Radiators all installed, filled with fluid. And the final piece of the puzzle, the key. Hopefully my battery didn't die. See if these lights go on. It should be in neutral. That's a good sign. If it blows up, I'm going to be deleting my YouTube account. Hopefully it's just doing that because the fuel's out. That's a good sign. All right. Let it warm up for a while. I could better get some gas. Low coolant temperature. 54 degrees out. I was supposed to do this at 26,000, 24,944. All right. Let it warm up for a second. There you go. I'm going to turn it off for now. Good news. Looks like I won't be deleting my YouTube account. So what I'm going to do is let it cool down a little bit, and then I'm going to take the radiator cap off and check the level in there. Okay, all right, I'm glad it fired up. Now I'm going to take this radiator cap off. It's been sitting for like an hour. It should be cool. And I'm going to see how much the coolant level's dropped. So it's definitely gone down about an inch, which makes sense. So it's supposed to take 2.04 quarts, and there was a little bit left in this bottle, maybe half a cup. Hopefully it just takes whatever is left. That's pretty much full there. So I barely ran it. I only got it up to 106 degrees. So I'm going to run it again and check it. So I'm going to wheel it back out again and try start number 2. Should start easier this time now that the fuel is primed. All right. Sounds good.